Every time you pay your electricity bill, you're quietly paying a little bit of someone else's too. And the system that makes that happen? It is absolutely drowning in debt. India's power distribution is run by state-owned entities called Discoms. They buy electricity in bulk and deliver it right to your doorstep. Simple enough concept. Except here's the problem. By March 2025, these Discoms had racked up a gross debt of 7,30,000 crore rupees. That is roughly the size of Switzerland's entire economy, sitting on the balance sheets of utilities that are, in several states, technically insolvent. And this didn't happen overnight. Accumulated losses were already clocking in at 6,77,000 crore rupees by FY23, growing at around 7% every single year. Credit rating agency ICRA says the bleeding is expected to continue well into FY26-27. So how does a utility, something as essential as electricity, end up this deep in the hole? Think of Discoms like a neighborhood grocery store that buys everything at full market price but sells to most customers at a discount, and survives by massively overcharging a small group of loyal, high-spending regulars. Those regulars, in this case, are commercial and industrial customers. Your factories, your data centers, your malls, who make up a tiny slice of total consumers but contribute 55 to 60% of total Discom revenue. Everyone else, households, farmers, pays far below the actual cost of power propped up by government subsidies and this internal cross-subsidy model. The whole thing has held together barely for decades. But now, those premium customers are being handed a legal exit door. And that changes the math completely. Actually, so the big question is, what actually happens to a 7,30,000 crore rupees debt pile when your best customers decide to walk out the door? That's exactly what we're getting into next. So here's where it gets interesting. And honestly, a little uncomfortable depending on which side of this you're sitting on. Andhra Pradesh just quietly changed the rules of the game. Any company consuming more than 300 megawatts, think the power appetite of a mid-sized industrial city, can now apply for a private distribution license. That means they can skip the state Discom entirely and buy power straight from private suppliers. And right there on screen, that's the threshold, over 300 MW. Keep that number in mind. Google's upcoming data center in Visakhapatnam is already the first real test case everyone's watching. Will this actually work, or will it fall apart at the seams? Now, who wins? Private generators like Tata Power, Adani Power, Reliance Power. They're thrilled. No middleman. Direct access to fat corporate clients. Renewable players like Adani Green and Suzlon also clean up. Because big industrial buyers increasingly want green energy to tick their sustainability boxes. Data centers, industrial parks. They get what Discoms could never reliably give them. Stable, dedicated, cheaper power. Sounds great, right? Here's the uncomfortable flip side. When your best paying customers walk out the door, your finances collapse. Fast. That's exactly what happens to Discoms. And PSU banks like SBI, PNB, Canara Bank, which are already sitting on serious Discom debt exposure, now face a very real NPA problem. If Discoms start defaulting, state governments bail them out, straining fiscal health, potentially dinging state bond ratings. And who quietly ends up footing that bill? You. The residential consumer, the small business owner, through higher tariffs or just plain worse service as Discoms scramble to plug the gap. It's a classic disruption story. A system built for one era, getting steamrolled by another. Next up, we look at what this means for policy and what could actually fix this. So we know the stress is real. But here's the more important question. Where does this all go from here? And what does it actually mean for you? Here's the thing about structural reforms. They rarely fix everything at once. They create winners and losers, and the transition period is almost always the messiest part. The reforms on the table right now: cost-reflective tariffs, flexible PPAs, private distribution licenses. These are genuinely good ideas in the long run. Forcing Discoms to price power at its actual cost of production, not some politically convenient number, and making them compete for customers. That gets them leaner. Less Discom bailout money flowing out of state budgets means more room for roads, schools, real infrastructure. That matters. But, and this is a big but, the short to medium term is where the pain lies. Think about cross-subsidies like a club membership. Wealthy members pay higher fees so low-income members can participate cheaply. Works fine, until the wealthy members start leaving. Once C and AMP, I customers migrate to private licenses or open access deals, that club starts falling apart fast. Either everyone else's fees go up or the government writes another check. Either way, someone pays. And right now the math on who pays is very much unresolved. So what should you actually be watching? If you're a business owner, keep your eye on tariff revision announcements. Especially if you operate in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra or Rajasthan, where Discom stress is running hottest. Watch open access rules too. If your business is a significant power consumer, you may genuinely be months away from buying directly from renewable providers at rates that undercut your current bill. And don't sleep on PSU bank health. If your working capital or credit lines run through SBI, PNB or Canara Bank. Check their NPA disclosures over the next 12 to 18 months. The bottom line? India's power sector is at a real fork in the road. The reform path leads somewhere better. A leaner, more market-driven system. But getting there is going to be bumpy. And those bumps, they'll show up in your electricity bill long before they show up in any headline. Follow us for more updates like this. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and X.